Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Show. Today we're going to learn about exponents. So I want you to label your notes, have your notebook out, your pencil out, label your notes exponents. Today our objective is to be able to evaluate expressions involving positive, negative, and zero exponents. What does this have to do with what we've done before? Well, we've evaluated expressions like 4 to the third. Remember, this means to take 4 times 4 times 4. The exponent tells you how many 4s to multiply. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 would be 64. Okay? First, we're going to start with positive exponents. Put a number 1 on your paper and put 4 to the second. 4 to the second means 4 times 4. The answer is 16. Good. Put a number 2 on your paper and put a negative 9 in parentheses to the second power. Okay, since the negative 9 is in parentheses, it means to take the number negative 9 times the number negative 9. So a negative times a negative is a positive 81. Put a number 3 on your paper and put negative 8 to the second with no parentheses. The negative 8 is not in parentheses, so what this means to do is to put your negative sign down and then find 8 to the second. 8 to the second would be an 8 times 8. So this would be a negative 64. Write number 4 in your notes, negative, and then negative 7 in parentheses to the second. Okay, whenever you have a negative sign in front, just write it down again. Then we're taking the number negative 7 to the second. So that means negative 7 times negative 7. So a negative times a negative, this will give us a positive 49, but we still have a negative sign in front. So that answer is a negative 49. Okay, write down number 5. 5 to the third, which is also called 5 cubed. Remember, it means to take 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 would be 125, right? Okay, look at number 6. Negative 4 to the third. Since the negative 4 is in parentheses, it means to take the negative 4 times the negative 4 times the negative 4. So a negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. A positive 16 times negative 4 would be a negative 64. Okay, write down number 7, negative 3 to the third. Since the negative sign is in front, you just bring down the negative sign and then you just find 3 to the third. So 3 to the third would be 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. But don't forget we have the negative sign in front, so it's a negative 27. Okay, write down number 8, negative, and then negative 2 in parentheses to the third. Okay, so this means write down your negative sign, but find the number negative 2 to the third. That means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Now I still have my negative sign out in front, but I've got in parentheses negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. But I still have this negative sign in front. So now it's like I have a negative times a negative. So a negative times a negative would be a positive 8. Okay, if you feel like you're ready to try these on your own, okay, I want you to keep going with the video. If not, rewind and listen and watch how to do these problems again. Okay, for the people going on, I want you to number 9 through 16. I want you to do these on your own. Go ahead and pause the video now. Take your time, do 9 through 16. When you get done with 9 through 16, hit play, and we'll check your answers. Okay, so now that you're done, check number 9. It should be negative 100. Number 10 is a positive 25. Number 11 is negative 49. Number 12 is 81. Number 13 would be a negative 1,000. 14 is 8. 15 is positive 27. And 16 is negative 64. If you missed any, pause the video now. Look at your work compared to my work. Make sure you understand it. And then when you're sure you understand the ones you missed, hit play. Okay, now we're going to do zero power. So I need you to write this in your notes. Zero power. Anything to the zero power is equal to 1. Write this in your notes, please. Anything to the zero power is equal to 1. Okay, put a new number 1, 100 to the 0. 100 to the 0 would equal 1, right? Put a number 2, negative, and then in parentheses, negative 12 to the 0. Okay, let's do this together. See that negative sign out in front? You write this down, and then you have negative 12 to the 0. The 0 is with the negative 12, so it's like you have negative, okay, in parentheses, so you got this negative in front of parentheses, you got this negative inside the parentheses, and 12 to the 0 is 1. So it's like a negative times a negative, it's going to give you a positive 1. Okay, write down number 3, negative 7 in parentheses to the 0. Okay, since the number negative 7 is in parentheses, you're taking that number to the 0 power. Any number to the 0 power is 1. Whether the number is negative or positive, when you take it to the 0 power, you get 1. Now write down number 4. The problem is negative 7 to the 0. This negative 7 is not in parentheses. So what we're going to do is write down the negative sign and then find 7 to the 0. 7 to the 0 is 1. So that's a negative 1. Okay, I'm going to have you try some on your own. Please. Okay, please write down 5 through 10. My mistake there. Write down 5 through 10 and try these. Go ahead and pause the video. And when you get done, hit play. Okay, now that you're done, let's see how you did. Number 5 should be 1. 6 is negative 1. Number 7 is 1. 8 is negative 1. Number 9 is 1, and 10 is negative 1. If you missed any, pause the video now, okay, and look at how I worked it out. Okay, and then when you're done, hit play. All right, now we're to our last part, negative exponents. I need you to write a number 1 in your notes, 8 to the negative 2. Okay, when the exponent is negative, your answer is a fraction. This is the same as 1 over 8 to the second. When you move it to the denominator, the 8 to the negative 2, it becomes 8 to the positive 2. So all the negative exponent means is make it a fraction and put 8 to the second in the denominator. Then we know 8 to the second is 64. So this is 1/64. Okay, write down number 2 in your notes, negative 9 in parentheses to the negative 2. Okay, my exponent's negative, my answer is a fraction. So this is the same as 1 over negative 9 in parentheses to the second, which means 1 over, and if the negative 9 is in parentheses, it means a negative 9 times negative 9. A negative times a negative is a positive 81. 1 over 81. Okay, write down number 3, negative 7 to the negative 2. Okay, let's do this together. Since the negative sign's out in front, you write down the negative sign. 7 is to the negative 2 power, so it means 1 over 7 to the second. 7 to the second is 7 times 7, which is 49. But you got a negative sign in front, so it's negative 1 over 49. Okay, write down number 4, negative, then negative 6 in parentheses to the negative 2. All right, so since there's a negative sign in front, I write that down. Since the number negative 6 is to the negative 2 exponent, it goes in the denominator, and it becomes to the positive 2 exponent. But remember, negative 6 is in parentheses, so it means take the number negative 6 times the number negative 6, which is a positive 36. So in the denominator, I have a positive 36, in the numerator, it's a 1. And my answer is still negative because I have this negative sign right here in front. Okay, let's try a few more. Write down number 5, negative 2 in parentheses to the negative 3. Okay, so since the exponent's negative, this means 1 over negative 2 in parentheses to the third. Well, this is equal to 1 over negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Well, negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. A positive 4 times a negative 2. When I take this 4 times negative 2, I get negative 8. So I have a 1 over negative 8. We do not normally leave the negative number in the denominator. So just think of this as a positive 1 divided by a negative 8. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. I would just say it's negative 1/8. Okay, write down number 6. Negative 4 to the negative 3. Okay, so let's do this together. There's a negative sign out in front, so you write that down. 4 is to the negative 3 power, so that means make it a fraction and put 4 to the third in the denominator. 4 to the third means 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. But I still have my negative sign out in front, so it's negative 164. Okay, write down number 7. 3 to the negative 3. Okay, this is an exponent that's negative, so remember our answer is a fraction. It's 1 over 3 to the third. 3 to the third is 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. That would be a 127. Okay, now it's your turn. So now what I want you to do is pause the video and try these. When you get done with all of them, working them out, hit play, and you can check your answers. Okay, now that you're done, check number 9 and see if you have a negative 1/3. Number 10 is negative 1 over 100,000. Number 11 is 1 over 216. Number 12 is negative 1/16. Number 13 is also negative 1/16. Number 14 is 1 over 625. Number 15 is 1 over 10,000. And number 16 is negative 1 over 32. If you missed any of these, please pause the video and take a look at my work and compare it to your work on your paper. Make sure you understand. When you get done looking at the ones you missed and looking at the work, Go ahead and hit play. All right, so hopefully you did a good job on this. Give me a 3 if you got it, 2 if you need a little help, and 1 if you're struggling. Okay, if you're a 1, please go back and listen to the video again. And this time when you listen to it, since you've already written down the problems, you don't need to worry about writing them down anymore. Just listen and watch and make sure you understand. Today you have an assignment on exponents. It's in Canvas. Go ahead and do that assignment.